Q&Asa. Game on Daily.
Welcome to the world of Q&Asa. I can't remember how this show works. It's been 2 weeks since I last did one. But it's where the past, present and future of gaming all converge. And we have a wonderful time talking about games and other things, potentially. Mostly games. I like talking about games. So thank you everyone for coming along and saying hi. We are going to run over how this show works because I can't remember. So, can someone tell me? This is a nice, it's a conversational, collaborative show. Why does it have to be me that tells you how it works? You tell me how it works. So, it is conversational. That's the main thing, right? We go back and forth. We have a nice little chat. You talk to me, I talk to you, you talk to each other, and that's nice and easy. Yes, I'm on top chat at the moment. No, that's what I needed. Where's my bot? I'm not going to see anybody. There's not going to be anybody on Twitch anyway, but I'm not going to see anybody ignoring me on Twitch if I don't have the correct bot open. So, that's on its way. We all talk bollocks. Yes, we do, Pete. We talk about bollocks. We talk about games. I don't overly talk about bollocks, but some of you definitely do. I did say there'd be no top chat ever again, but the fact that there was a top chat is the reason I noticed I don't have my usual chat window up. So top chat is not the issue. Completely missing Twitch. That's the issue, because you never know. This one time, the show will end up being really popular on Twitch just to spite me. And I wouldn't feel spited at all because I would like Twitch to be a better platform than it is. So, conversational. We have these chats. You talk, and hopefully I catch as much of it as I can, and we go back and forth. But if that's not good enough for you, you can do other things. You can jump onto Discord and broadcast your face and or voice to the world. So you can have your own say on the topics and other things just for 2 or 3 minutes before I send you on your way. That's an option. If you are part of the Gaming Arcadia Discord, just stick yourself in one of the waiting rooms and we will sort that out, get you on the show. You can also throw money at the internet. If you've got too much of that stuff and you want to get a super chat on there, then those are pretty hard for me to miss. So throw money at YouTube, throw money at Twitch, say your thing, and that will definitely get attention as well. Again, you definitely don't have to do that. You're part of the conversation either way. There used to be an option 5 and 6 and 7, and maybe 4. I'm not counting. I'm not with it. Option 4 is the Q&A box, which is there already. Ask questions, I'll read them. And actually, as it's Q&Asa, the name of the show implies that it's going to be questions and answers, but actually you can stick whatever you want in the Q&A box on this one. And at the end of the show, we do address everything in there. Not necessarily in any depth, not necessarily give you your answers, because, you know, Tony. but we will go over them all, every single one. So stick stuff in there and we'll get to that. And I think with that, we're ready to go. Mike Ibarra has tons of cash for me. I heard that he's got like a $2,000 pair of earbuds to play with. And yeah, if he wants to tip the show, obviously welcome to. Seems unlikely though. Seems unlikely. So that's Ida's cat is here with us today. That's good to know. Have I got my chat thing that I'm trying to get on with? I have. So I've not come very well prepared today because I prepare for many other shows and I figured you lot can do the work on this one. Final Fantasy 15 better. Oh, this is old chat. This is old chat. Can you stick some offal in the box? You can try, Tom. I would appreciate it if you do try. Anyway, we always start this show nice and easy, and it usually takes up most of the show because that's how it goes. Talking about games that you've been playing. Games that I've been playing, but games that you've been playing. So, Tony demands blood for last week's cancellation. Do I understand how much coke that you took? Well, like, you got almost the same thing. You got a special edition of the Arcadia Roundtable that was only me and Darge, right? So, Gamsy, can you stick yourself in the box? I think a lot of people would encourage you to try. A lot of people would encourage you to try. Not saying I would encourage you to try it, although I just got the news that you may or may not be around tomorrow, so maybe I'd encourage you to try as well. Aside from an hour or two in Fallout 4, Patrick, that's, to be fair, I've not had a good week for the gaming either, so your hour or two in Fallout 4, does that mean that you've had time to watch the TV series? Has the TV series got you into Fallout 4? Have you prioritized watching TV over playing games? Because that's reasonable. You're a busy guy with a family to spend some time with, right? Tony's going to sabotage Gamsley. Okay, good. Replicant, you're still all over Final Fantasy 14. You're a dancer. Most people won't be super interested in knowing how the dancer plays out, but I am. I want you to tell me what's like the core. I'm not sure it goes into rotations in the same way that World of Warcraft does. It does to an extent, but Final Fantasy seems to feature a lot more annoying, like 30-60 second kind of abilities as well. But what's the kind of core flow of its rotation to get you through an encounter? Pete, I want you to tell me in depth how you found Harold Halibut so far, because my plan is to play and stream that tomorrow afternoon before the Xbox Series podcast, so that I'm armed and equipped to talk about it then. But Isla was telling me about it. She didn't enjoy it. Isla, if you'd eaten it already, that would be even more weird, but okay. Yeah, Isla was telling me that she didn't enjoy the opening hour and a half of it. And it seems fairly likely that it'll be slow for me as well. But I'm going to try. I'm open-minded. I'm going to go into it tomorrow. I'm going to stream it for a good... If I get my act together, a good like 3 hours or so. Which I don't... I've wasted all of my time that I should have been spent playing games, sorting out stream stuff, and I think I'm just going to back off of all of the changes that I was making completely and just stick with what I was already doing. Which is overly complicated things. Replicant, it is Space Channel 5. Well done. Do you know why it's Space Channel 5? It's Space Channel 5 because that strange game that you stuck in the Gaming Arcadia Reviews channel. I can't remember what it was called, and I can't go and have a look right now. It was a Dreamcast game, like a rhythm game from, I think, Bandai Namco, and it was one that I didn't play. Cool Tune, that's the one. And I had a little look in your review, and I went onto YouTube, and I was like, oh, actually, some of the songs in this YouTube thing are really catchy. So, much as I've never played it, it's so niche and so unusual, I'm going to use it as the background track for today's show. So I went and got that, got it all set up, got it all ready. But the tracks as they play out in the OST without the gameplay accompanying it weren't as good as it was in the game. So you know what though? Space Channel 5, you can obviously see like the relationship between the two. Your Cool 2 and Space Channel 5. So yeah, I figured I'd get some Space Channel 5 on. It's actually blaring really loudly in my ears, way too loudly, can't hear myself think. But... And I've never played Space Channel 5 because unlike your Final Fantasy character, I never saw myself as much of a dancer. But tell me if you have played Space Channel 5, because I'm very curious as to whether it deserves any kind of cult status or whether it was just a bit shite. Episode 13, never played it. So Pete, on Harold Halibut, you played it a couple of hours and it starts slowly for sure. It seems to be picking up now and you're beginning to think that you're going to play it through. No spoilers though, Pete. I know you're not there. That's reasonable. Gamzy, I'm not sure Tom's being mean to you. What are you saying that you've won? Is this League of Legends? You haven't been playing League of Legends. You're not home. You're not home playing any games. Because one of the things that I did want to set up, and I was definitely going to set it up with Gamsley as a starting point, was a better way to multi-stream loads of different people. But Gamsley has not been available. Chronic, you're on Remnant. I'm dying. You have a laptop. I need high quality, pristine 4K 60 streaming. I don't actually. So, Chronic, I thought you'd finished Remnant 2. I thought the whole group of you that had got onto Remnant 2 had got through it. And had got through it on multiple difficulties. And had hoovered up most of the secrets as well. Episode 13 has played Shiv 2. I have also, so I've not played much this week because things have gone wrong, like I say, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about that later, but Shiv 2 we did play at the weekend. The community stream on Sunday had an unusually low turnout. So we started with some Rocket League, and that didn't go very well. That was the least fun I've had on Rocket League, I think, for a while at least, but we did a bit of it, and it was okay. And then we went on to Chivalry 2, which was, I was having a good time on Chivalry, but I had promised in advance that we'd also get onto Brands Hatch on Forza. So cometh the hour of Forza Motorsport. There were only 3 or 4 people and it didn't happen. Stephen, you watched a YouTube thing on how they made Harold Halibut, and it's insane what they've done to make that game. Were there actually any models involved? Is there a Harold Halibut like claymation figure? Or is it all just artistry done within a game engine? In episode 13, you hot turned on your Xbox since Sunday, but still teething and sleep has been difficult. Yeah, things do get easier though. You'll get through it and things will get easier and easier and better and better. So they did make 3D models and they scanned them. Okay. And all of the sets were handmade and all scanned as well. That's cool. I mean, obviously it pays off in the look of it. I was a bit curious. The like, it's hard to pin down from looking at it what kind of technical feats are being accomplished, because it obviously looks really, really good. But that you could tell me that that was in an incredibly demanding game or an incredibly lightweight game, and I wouldn't know which was accurate from looking at it. I've only seen trailers, I've not seen it in motion, but I would probably lean towards actually more demanding than people might expect. But I don't know how much of it is static and how much of it is like pre-baked and tricks and all the rest of it. It's really hard to figure out from its visual makeup. But I did have a little look, so I've got the game downloaded on the PC store, and the tags that they use on the Xbox store can be well off the mark of what's actually true, but it says it's like all ray tracing and HDR and fancy pants, like all of the technical labels are on there. On the PC on high, the GPU fans below. Okay, so seemingly pushing your PC quite hard. It's one of those things, like I could very well believe that it is very demanding and using a lot of real-time effects to achieve that look, but I would also totally accept if they came out and said, yeah, it's actually, you know, we can run this at 4K on the Series S, because actually these are just techniques that we've used to accomplish it that gives it this particular aesthetic, you know. And I wouldn't have a clue from looking. The X version looks great. So you've done a little comparison, have you, Pete? You've gone on both. Champions League match is still on extra time. Who's playing in the Champions League? Episode 13. Second wave reminds you of Returnal. Second wave of what? I need to scroll up a bit and see what Replicant said about this dancer, because I missed it. So everything in the game was handcrafted and then scanned into the game, but does that mean, like... Because obviously in the game, the models are being posed in all kinds of ways. Did they have multiple poses that they scanned in and they blend between them in-game? Or did they just take that as the base model and animate it, like rig it up with bones and all the rest of it and animate it from there? Gamsey, we're definitely going to get that going. Gamsey, I have not played Final Fantasy XIV with a single one of you yet. And this is mostly my fault. But also it's your fault. Because I like to share the blame and then it doesn't hurt so much. Diminished responsibility. Can't find it. Oh, I'm not sure I got it. I can see that it was a ranged combo based DPS. No, I did scroll up Replicant, but I wanted to know more about... So, Final Fantasy XIV, when I've played it, I've not played many of the classes, but the ones that I have played, the melee ones have had too much in common in terms of the way that it builds up its combos. So... towards level, I don't know, mid-30s, you end up with like a buff to maintain and a combo to spam through and maybe an AoE ability. So on the Lancer, it would be like hit him with the opener and get my 30-second buff, and then hit him with the 3-step combo, repeat the 3-step combo until I need to refresh that buff, and just occasionally throw in other cooldowns to spice it up. And it's not that interesting, but the Gladiator has a very, very similar like rotation, and I wasn't sure how different that gets for like a physical ranged class. Not sure how different it gets for the Lancer and Dragoon and all the rest of it. Anyway, I'm curious, but I am going to play some more of that game and find out for myself. I'm also going to play World of Warcraft. I'm also going to play all of the Pancake games and all of the VR games, and no one can stop me apart from time. Time is a fierce adversary, unfortunately, and thus far very effective at stopping me. Man City versus Real Madrid. What? How far through the Champions League are we? Episode 13? Is this like the final, or is it just a... I don't know. I've been well away from football for a long time. Full 360 scans of the models, and then they gave them bones and joints and animated from there. Well, whatever they did, from what I've seen, seems to be very effective. Very unique look that it's got going. Is it a cinematic 30 frames per second? Basically, you hit a buff, and then you need a series of Simon Says dance moves to get a damage buff. And how does Simon indicate his instructions to you? You know, the animation on Fantastic Mr. Fox was amazing, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is actual claymation, right? As in clay figure, and they pose it frame by frame, like Wallace and Gromit and all the rest of it. Game's been like 16 years in the making, as people made it had no idea how to make a game when they started. Oh, that's like the Power World guys that didn't know what they were doing just by having a prior game. That's encouraging. That gives me hope. Do you know what takes away my hope? I look at all of this stuff and I'm like, oh, I could learn to use all of these fancy tools in the Unreal Engine and make a little project of my own. And then Patrick just like lets go little bits of information about the work that he's doing in his game developer course, where he's remapping the hex of 16.7 million colors to change the color presentation of a project, and figuring out how to multi-thread his game across 48 cores or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, this is quite out of my range. Still, well, it has a performance and a quality setting on the X. Doesn't everything? I don't like performance quality setting choices myself, but some people do. Isla, I can do anything. I told you, time is proving to be a fierce adversary. Time and like, you know, the brain. Fierce adversaries. But on the PC, there are a ton of options. Who doesn't love options, AP? Who doesn't love tweaking graphics settings over and over and over again instead of playing games? Long live PC setting. No, that's not me. Not a fan myself, but despite, you know, being a fan and not being a fan, there's value in them nice easy console experiences. There's value in being able to put your feet up and have a professional developer with a professional set of performance profiling tools actually going and make a game specifically for your hardware over pissing around in a menu trying to tweak it, trying to get it just right without... There's like 1 in 1,000 PC games have a good benchmarking tool, and those are acceptable. I can handle those. Don't like it still, but I can handle those. The other 999 in 1,000 PC games don't have a good benchmarking tool. So good luck dialing in those settings for the most important parts of a game. Anyone that tells you that's a better experience, they're lying to you. They're lying to themselves, or I don't know, it's mistaken, you know. It's turning your hair grey while also being enjoyable. Again though, Patrick, that's that adversary I keep talking about. Time will turn your hair grey. But it's nice to hear that you are finding it enjoyable, and I love that you're getting on with that, because I don't know, just respect that you're doing it, you know, trying to... So, I'm not sad, I've got a big smile on my face. Big smile on my face, maybe. Have I? I don't know, can't see myself. I thought I had a big smile on my face, and then I looked at my screen and I saw this on YouTube, but it was like delayed and I didn't have a smile on my face. Oh, you can't see it, okay, fair. Nobody's sad, episode 13, we're having a wonderful time. Give me more stuff on games. Because I've kind of... No, I've not entirely exhausted what I played. I played a very short bit of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth again. Which, as you know, if you watch this remotely, like, come on this channel at all, you know that I kind of love it and kind of hate it at the same time. I really don't like Chadley and his Ubisoft adventures. I like a lot of things about the game. And this time, having taken too long of a break from it, I went back into it. Didn't do anything exciting whatsoever, because I didn't get into not even a single bit of combat, and the combat in that game is done well, is like one of its strengths. But I didn't get a single bit of combat, but I still had a really good time with the game, because I was in a section that had no Chadley. It had no side missions and map checklists and things like that. It was still quirky in the way that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, if you haven't taken an interest in it, it is so heavy on weird silly mini games that some people will hate. Lots of like, here's a weird rhythm action game, now you're playing Wave Race for some reason, and like, all kinds of silliness going on, but in a way that kind of fits the nostalgia, because that's how Final Fantasy VII was as well. So it's a weird little one, that. And I enjoyed it again, so I'm looking forward to playing it some more. So... Tell me more about Fallout, Patrick. Stop worrying about the colour of your hair. Tell me about your 2 hours of Fallout 4. Have you played through... I know you've been giving away Fallout in the giveaway channel and on yesterday's stream as well. Have you played through the entirety of those? Stop pretending I'm going to finish Rebirth. Gamsey, there's no way in hell I'm not finishing Rebirth. You don't know me at all, sir. Of course I'm going to finish Rebirth. The one that you should question is Dragon's Dogma. I really like Dragon's Dogma, but I haven't gone back to it because I keep fucking around with Discord streaming that's going wrong, trying to rework and reinvent everything that I do for no good reason, and it's keeping me away from my game. And I'm going to finish Dragon's Dogma as well, of course I am. Replicant, you're not sold on it. I'm still only like 4 or 5 hours in, and I'm very much sold on it so far. I do get that I may feel differently after a length of time with it, but at the moment, bring back VODs. You mean making actual videos? Or are you talking about the streaming to YouTube? I'm happy to take feedback from the group on what's good on streaming, and we do this quite often because I'm very indecisive and I keep going back and forth, keep trying to fix things and improve things. and then keep pushing beyond my means and having to scale it all back and go right back to where I started. But you like YouTube videos, and now you mean actual YouTube videos. Yeah, I was supposed to. So keep talking about games. I'm going to tell you what my plan for this week was to change things. I've not been like lazy on the channel this year. As you know, if you're on the Discord, I'm always like trying to tweak and change and improve things, very much so. But I have not managed to get back into the reviews that I was doing and the videos that I was doing whatsoever. So I figured this week, for the sake of managing my time better, I'm going to structure it a little bit differently. I'm going to make it so that on the days where I've got a podcast, so the Tuesdays, the Thursdays, and the Fridays, wink wink, I'm going to specifically play games and stream games that pertain to the podcasts that I've got on those evenings. Wink wink. And then on the other day, so the Monday and the Wednesday when I've got a little bit of time in there, and the Friday, no, not the Friday, the Monday and the Wednesday, I'm going to dedicate those to being productive on videos and things like that. Which doesn't mean there's going to be a video on all of those days, because sometimes I take freaking ages on a video. But, you know, get on with some scripting, play the things that I'm doing reviews on, stuff like that, and fit those in, and at the weekends. So that I'm making sure that I do stream, and I'm making sure I do make videos. And then thus far this week, we've got to Wednesday, and it has not panned out at all. I've spent way too long trying to make my second capture card not a pile of shit. So I played a little bit of Bulwark on Tuesday, actually. I forgot to mention when we were talking about it. I did play an hour of Bulwark. And if you were there in the Discord thing where I was playing around with streaming, you would have noticed that it was horrifically washed out and difficult to look at. Wednesday's going... No, Pete, Wednesdays aren't going, wink wink. But Wednesdays are Q&Asa, which is not specific to any particular platform in any way whatsoever. So I don't have any like due diligence to play a game to be able to talk about in this show. On this show I don't need to. Like you will bring all the knowledge in the games, and we just have a conversation. So I learnt my lesson, because enough people were upset that I didn't do Q&Asa last week that I now realise people like this little show. So I am also I was a little bit backwards in my thinking, in that I had this one as the least important of all the shows, because I don't like rate myself, and all the other shows are better because they've got people on them or whatever. But someone pointed out, I can't even remember who, but someone pointed out that this is actually the show that built the channel so far. So I should probably keep it going. And it's true, so I'm going to keep it going. The Winking Replicant is to do with all the top secret stuff, because the Tuesday, I'm just being like very open and saying more than I should, because these things might take a little while to get in order. But the Tuesday show with Darge and Chris, it's still going to be with Darge and Chris, but it is going to become the PC focused show that you want. Actually, I've just realized that I can't. I was going to say I'm going to be totally like open and candid on my plans, but then I realized I can't actually yet. So I'm going to cut myself short. And not finish what I was talking about. Am I going to get the 5090? Dickie, I would like to, but at the moment, I don't know. I don't know where I'd get that from. So ideally, I'll talk a little bit on the Discord, but I just realised there's some stuff that I can't get into at the moment. Yes, Replicant, it is. When I say it's what you want, I mean specifically you, Replicant, asked for this. But there are a lot of PC-focused people. So the Tuesday one, and plus, not only are there a lot of PC people, but it has become quite apparent in play that words that just brain splat. Darge and Chris are both very much PC gamers as well, right? If you listen to them, neither are that into the consoles. They can talk about them, and they've got, like, Chris has got a PlayStation and stuff, but they are very much PC gamers, and it makes sense for that to be a PC show. And plus, like, there's lots of people that can appreciate PC news separately from all the others and have the same kind of filter that I do for the X people on Thursday. And there's the Nintendo show as well. I'm not planning for the more open, broad roundtable to go away entirely though. So Tom, the Xbox show is good, but these are filters. These are filters. So really, like the ultimate filter is it means that I don't talk about VR on the Xbox show. So I don't have people don't have an excuse to get really frustrated for 20 minutes if I talk about a topic that they don't like. Because they've got filters. They can stick to the shows that are very specific to the stuff they are interested in, right? It's not about... No, I know you are, Tom. I know, it's all good. But it is like a difficult thing to shake, because normally if you find a podcast that's got Xbox in the name of it, it is there to do cheerleading and to like reinforce views people have towards their favorite platform or whatever. And that's not... Most people kind of know how I am. That's not what I'm in for at all. Just a nice little filter for the people that want to only hear about stuff they're interested in. Yeah, PC covers lots of stuff, including... Oh, Man City versus Real Madrid has gone to penalties. Yeah, whatever. Sony... Okay, so yeah, that was a question, wasn't it? Lethal Migraine asked a question about Sony. Which was, if I were running PlayStation, how would I turn it from a financial black hole into a profit juggernaut? PlayStation is not a financial black hole. Not at the moment. I think a lot of the doom and gloom around PlayStation's finances is not misplaced, but I think their hardest times are ahead of them rather than behind. I don't think they've been unsuccessful up to this point. I think they've got a difficult 2 or 3 years ahead of them. I don't think the PlayStation 5 has underperformed. I don't think their games have particularly underperformed, but I think the fact that they can't get the price of that console down is a massive, massive problem in terms of the normal console modeling that they've managed to follow for the past number of years. So, how I would steer them through that, though, I mean, I'm selfish and I would make them a financial black hole. I'd get that wireless VR headset that I wanted in the first place. You're wondering how well the PlayStation 5 Pro will do. The PlayStation 5 Pro, though, like, it's not key. It's not like a significant inflection point in their success and journey, really. It's like it's a niche product. It's a niche within a niche, because consoles are already kind of niche, and the Pro is for such a small subset of players to stop them getting bored and moving on. An important subset of players, like their biggest fan base or whatever, the most enthusiastic ones, but numerically insignificant. So yeah, it was supposed to be, like, you'd expect it to be in November this year, but because Sony's lack of announced games, there was some talk that it might be delayed. So not because the hardware wasn't ready, but because the software to go alongside it wasn't ready. Yeah, it'll be 150 monies more. Yeah, I would expect so, Pete. But the problem that Sony have ahead of them, PlayStation 5 Pro aside, because I think that will do all right, but not brilliant. It's not going to move any particular needles. It's just a nice thing for the super fans. Yeah, I'd say about that replicant. The problem is that at this point in the PlayStation's life cycle, the PlayStation 5 shouldn't be more than like $250, $300. They've always had this really aggressive push to lower the price of the console to keep the market for it and the audience for it growing, because the people that want to buy a PlayStation at 400 and whatever quid have already bought it. And that price coming down is how they keep it selling, and they have not been able to do that. And they are still not able to do that at the moment, so... I can't remember exactly what price it is. It shouldn't be 450 because it doesn't come with a disc, right? So I think the PlayStation 5 digital, I think it launched at about 350 and then went up to about 380 at some point. I could be wrong. I try not to follow money stuff too closely, but Chronic, you don't need to say the status of the thing out loud just because you want to be able to change it. I understand. I'll see if I can make it happen. Yeah. Yeah, so what would I do if I were in charge of PlayStation? I mean, stuff. I don't know. It's difficult for me because the ways to make money and the ways to please me as a consumer aren't that closely aligned. And I would be loath to sit here and say I'd love to like really emphasize and focus on mobile, because I don't want them to do that, and I know that that would be smart, and I don't want them to do that. So there's a massive like conflict of interest in that I want good games and cool stuff, but good games and cool stuff are not the way to financial success. So if I were in charge of Sony, I would tear myself in half, contort on whether I should like do a good job or run this company into the ground so that I can have cool things. So best I don't apply for that one, eh? Or at least if I do, I'm not going to say any of that in the interview. Sony always have bangers in their pocket somewhere. Isn't it episode 13? Don't know about that. Oh, I just realised if you retract a message, it doesn't go away from my little chatbot interface. So, Ghost of Tsushima. As we just had a question about Sony, let's talk about one of the few topics of the week. This one's on the thumbnail, so it's worth touching on. Software is where they make their money though, and you definitely think the £70 price tag has hampered sales. Stephen, the £70 price tag has definitely hampered sales. The problem, like the argument against it, and I always I'm absolutely in agreement, you make that cheaper. I think if you sold these games at half the price, they would sell more than twice as much. And if you take physical out of the equation and just look at like conceptually digital Sony's own games on their own store, like all the fees negated for that, for illustration's sake, if they sold like, I don't know, what's their most recent game? Can't remember. Let's just say God of War Ragnarok or whatever. Say that was like 35 quid. It would have sold more than twice as many, I think, and therefore made them more money. The problem with that argument though is that if they sell God of War Ragnarok at 70 quid, they are also going to sell it at 35 quid, and every price in between, like somewhere along the way. So day one sales aren't the only thing. So from them sitting there in their little boardroom, if they sell them expensive, they're not losing the opportunity to also sell them cheaper later. So all of these people that don't want to pay 70 quid, if they've said, oh, 50 quid is the most that I'll pay for a game, and then they pay for that game when it hits 50 quid, then publisher hasn't lost out. They've just managed to get more money from the people that are willing to pay 70 quid before bringing that price down to the people that want to pay less. So, and then to go back again against that, so that theory where actually you can resell it at lower and lower prices, is obviously the marketing like buzz, wave, zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it, is like drastically reduced if you sell it to a small group and then try and sell it on and on and on. You can't like recapture that marketing wave when the price goes down a little bit. So actually it becomes quite a delicate thing to balance and know for sure what the best strategy is if you really care about how much money is being made. Which obviously they do, because, you know, that's how they work. Pikunagi, PC and live service is another possible avenue for Sony. Helldivers 2 is doing good sales and consistent numbers, and Destiny 2 has good buzz again. Does Destiny 2 have good buzz again? I'm really interested in that one from the outside as someone that doesn't play Destiny 2. Because you hear terrible things about how like the previous expansion just upset everybody, and the next one had there was speculation, and I don't know where it came from, but speculation that the pre-orders were not up to where they needed to be for Bungie and all the rest of it. But I don't know what actual Destiny 2 people feel about it, and I don't know what scope there is for Destiny to get anybody outside of their existing audience to be interested. Because for me, I played Destiny 2 at launch, and the thought of jumping back into it when I've missed the last, like, however, 2-3 expansions or whatever, it's like not really. That's not an enticing prospect at all. Like, the game can come out and people can say this is the best thing ever, 10 out of 10. They've made it the best Destiny has ever been, and I'll still look at it and go, oh, but that's not a thing I'm involved in. Can't really just pick it up. So I don't know. But you're right. Your broader point about live service on the PC space being where loads of money is. Yes, it is. There is loads of money on PC and live service. Yeah, all of these questions around like what's the best way to maximize money on a live service game? Do they belong on subscription services, or does that hurt them? Do they belong on, like, should you be selling these games, or is free to play the model to go to? And there's not necessarily single correct answers on that, but yes, getting as many people playing and paying is gonna sort Sony out, I'm sure. But like I say, it would be impossible for me to steer towards what's most profitable when I want what's best. They're not the same thing, from my perspective at least. If 499,999 are gaming, 4,999 are wanking, what are the other two? Well, Chronic, that's not Chronic, it's a question to Chronic. It's a question from Tom to Chronic that I have missed the context for and don't fully understand whatsoever, but I would challenge it, Tom, and say, where is this assumption that there's no overlap between those two groups? Because I reckon there's probably a fairly sizable overlap, and actually that leaves a lot of other people to consider. Yeah. So everyone's going to sleep, everyone's tired. Good. Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, wait, I want to catch this. Pikonagi is talking about Destiny. Those last few expansions have been real sour for folks. It'll be interesting if Sony can get enough Destiny 2 players back, at least in time for a possible new expansion or a Destiny 3 announcement. Isn't this one called like Final Word or something that feels quite definite and final? That sounded from the outside like they were wrapping up Destiny 2. Would people be interested in Destiny 3, or does it have the same problem? Or all the people that didn't carry on with Destiny 2 gonna be drawn back into a third? Do we have anyone here that Destiny is? Or has at various points in time? Or has feelings about it? Why have PC games not increased in price like console games? If console prices keep rising, might just drive more people to PC. PC games have gone up in line with console games, more or less. They've traditionally always been a bit cheaper, and you can question why they're a bit cheaper, because, like, yeah, but I think they have followed the same trend and trajectory, though. If anything, like, more extremely, because I remember buying The Witcher 3 for £11.50 when it came out, and it was like 50 on console or something. Now you'd expect the next Witcher game to be 70 on console, but probably 60 on PC as well. At least in dollars. But why should a PC game be cheaper when Steam are still taking their 30% or whatever, like pretty in line with what the consoles take? The reason given has typically been like PC doesn't have to keep parity with physical releases, but that reason's kind of dried up now because consoles don't really have to keep parity with physical releases either anymore. Replicant had its moments, but now you have no interest in Destiny. It should be good, like, it should be good. You like online RPG stuff. And Destiny has, like, bags of style about it. But yeah, you're right, I can't get drawn into it either. Banoffee hot chocolate, very good. Not very hot anymore, but CD Keys is great. Tsushima is 38 quid. CD Keys is a fine place for your PC shopping, and you get a fair amount of stuff for the Xbox there as well. But so Ghost of Tsushima. Sony announced today, shall I have a little Ghost of Tsushima trailer? We've not had any trailers yet. No, I can't find my mouse cursor. Ghost of Tsushima PC. PlayStation PC features trailer. That'll do nicely. For the first time on PC, and this is the prior trailer, so nothing too exciting going on, but they announced today that it's going to be the first PlayStation game launching with a new PlayStation overlay that brings with it trophy support in the PC version. I think they've clarified since that the trophies in the PC version are like linked or cross progression alongside the PlayStation 5 version, which was a little bit of a surprise because the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of Ghost of Tsushima have their own unique trophies, but they are PS5 and PC version are considered one and the same thing as far as that goes. Not as far as buying the game goes though, of course. So, gonna get an overlay, gonna play Ghost of Tsushima on the PC, and you're gonna pop all of the same trophies that you could on the PlayStation, as well as the Steam achievements. They unlock in tandem and you get both. Does anyone feel at all invested in trophies on the PlayStation side of things? I've talked about achievements and trophies lots of times, in that for me, I used to, when achievements first came onto the scene, I did chase them. But as soon as I found myself playing more multi-platform or being drawn to other platforms, I kind of realized that didn't work alongside achievements. It's achievements are intended to keep you on one platform, and if you don't want to play on one platform and you want to try and start considering achievements across multiple, then they become a bit of a ball ache and not actually that much fun. And then you look at them and you realize that actually they weren't entirely a good thing in the first place, because they do see you playing the bullshit terrible parts of games to get achievements rather than playing them to have fun and enjoy the content itself. You do the most repetitive or nonsense or asinine little bits of side content to get your last 10 points or your platinum trophy or whatever. That's not actually how I want to play my games anyway, so I pretty much entirely ignore them. And actually when I play on Xbox and maybe on PlayStation, I can't remember, I have the notifications entirely disabled, so I don't even know when I'm getting them. That's the extent to which I ignore them. But some people love them. Some people do really like, I want 100% that game and get that platinum trophy, particularly on the PlayStation side, where they do have this concept of the 100% platinum. So tell me, who is invested? Yeah, Isla, you like achievements in a weird way that I don't really understand. I don't know, the notifications give you a little dopamine hit or something, right? Because you don't like play games specifically to get achievements. You still stick to your games that you like. I don't know, you like them. But what about on the trophy side? Does anybody feel a different way about playing on the PC if it means that you can maintain your PlayStation trophy progress? You can argue you've become a bit more of a trophy nut in recent years, at least for the ones you love. I get that side of it as well. For some people, it's like almost an endorsement or sign of affection for the special game, to say like, yeah, this one, to show how much I believe that this was entirely worth it, I'm going to do everything in this game and get that 100%. And I get that. Sneaky wee fucker. Does like YouTube not have any kind of filter on the way that people choose their names? I'm not against your name, by the way. Sneaky wee fucker is a wonderful like choice of handle. But I'm surprised that this stuff just like YouTube's like, yeah, whatever. Can't see anything wrong with fucker. They must mean it nicely. At the same time, what's the point in trying to fight people using swear words, right? They're gonna find characters that look like that otherwise. So, is it for all Steam games you get PlayStation trophies, or just PlayStation games? Definitely just PlayStation games, and at the moment, just Ghost of Tsushima. They might, like, I guess it would be nice if they retroactively add them to Returnal and Horizon and all the other PlayStation ones that went across. But for now, just Just the one that's coming. Just Ghost of Tsushima. You wondered if it would not allow that. That's what Dave calls you. Good. So you know... Sneaky wee fucker, do I know you from elsewhere? Or are you just someone around Dave? Oh, it's Tom. Wait a minute. But Tom's called Tom. This is confusing. Okay. What? Stop confusing me. What happened? Hang on. I've missed something. I've missed something important. What do you mean gold badger? There wasn't a badger. Why is... Okay, no. No, I'm here. I'm with it. So, Peacock, you'd be interested to see other PlayStation first-party games on PC get this implementation? Yeah. And you'd be curious if cross-save comes to PlayStation Stars. I forgot about the PlayStation Stars. I've not... I think you have to sign up for that. I'm still on like level 1 customer support. Tom changed his YouTube name. I'm with it. I'm there. I'm all caught up. I know what's happening. Don't judge me for falling behind. So, who's going to play Ghost of Tsushima anyway? Like the game itself. I played 40 to 50 hours, probably more than that because I did a second. Like I started over at some point. So I probably put 60 or 70 hours into Ghost of Tsushima, but I didn't finish it. It's possible that I'll go back to it on a little PC playthrough at some point. But I'm not desperate to. Not when it comes out or anything like that. Or too much to play at the moment. Steven, you also can't stand that they show how many hours that you've played a game. You really don't want to be reminded how many hours you've neglected your family and life playing games. That's my favourite stat. That's my favourite stat. Every now and again, if I start to think, oh, that's a scary number, like, oh, 130 hours into Baldur's Gate 3, that's concerning. Then just to make myself feel better, like, for relativity's sake, I log onto World of Warcraft and hit /played on a few characters. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. I survived that, I can survive this. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Lets you know you got your money's worth out of whatever it was that you were playing there. Sneaky wee fucker, you genuinely didn't think it would confuse you to the picture. That makes sense, but I don't see the picture. The way that I view chat, the little tool that I use that brings the Twitch and the YouTube chat together, doesn't show the pictures and stuff. So there's literally never anyone on Twitch, so I don't know why I bother using it. Twitch might have to do one. Part of my new strategy might be to just kill Twitch entirely. But Twitch has like jump scares and fun things like that. Never mind. Ghost of Tsushima. It's on the thumbnail. It's a game. You kill stuff. You can unmute and scream. Why are you going to unmute and scream? What's happened? I'm lost. Oh, as a jump scare. No, you could. That's true. That's true. I don't think I would appreciate it, but you could. What other topics have we got? Nintendo Indie Showcase. That happened today. Did anybody watch any of the Nintendo Indie Game Showcase? It was 20 minutes of, weirdly, a lot of timed exclusives. Nobody likes timed exclusives, but everyone forgets about it when they're small indie games. And actually the funding is probably going to a decent place, I suppose. You watched the first 15 seconds and then died, but it didn't get good until the last couple of minutes. I actually didn't see the start of it, which is why I'm putting the question entirely on you good people to tell me what you saw of it, because I was late. I didn't actually know what time it was on, and then I think Replicant said in Discord, like, is anyone watching this? Someone said in Discord, is anyone watching the Nintendo thing? And I was not. But I tuned into it and caught some of it. They had that Pirates. Oh, actually, it's here. SteamWorld Heist finished it. SteamWorld Heist 2. Europa looked very, very nice indeed. But Cat Quest 3 is where the thing picked up for me. I started watching Cat Quest 3. Cat Quest 3 was revealed in a PlayStation showcase, and everyone laughed at it for not being a big AAA banger thing. And at the point that that happened, I was curious about it because it was Cat Quest 3, not Cat Quest 1 and Cat Quest 2. Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever they called it. But I was curious about it when it was in there and everyone was laughing. So I had a little trip over to Steam to look at the user reviews of Cat Quest 1 and Cat Quest 2, and they were both overwhelmingly positive. And as reviews go, a Steam game being overwhelmingly positive typically means more than Metacritic or any particular like outlet that reviews games, apart from Gaming Arcadia, obviously, where you get all of the best info. But typically, if a game is overwhelmingly positive on Steam, it's probably actually a good game. So Cat Quest 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever, maybe is going to be better than people were expecting. So that's one of the highlight games from the Nintendo thing. You're pretty sure it was Chris who asked about Nintendo. It could have been Chris. Could have been Chris. It's definitely a person. Because only people and the occasional cat talk in Discord. And the cats you can usually recognize because they don't use actual words or sentences. It was Chris. Okay. Cat Quest was a great game for kids. For kids? I'm not a kid. I want games for me. Games for kids. I don't care about. Speaking of games for kids, though, so the next one that I'm going to talk about. So Shady, you keep missing the first part of the show. It's all good. It's all good. Normally the first part of the show is much like this part of the show, where it's just me trying to figure out where I am and what's happening. So don't worry too much. Cat Quest, that's a game. The other one that I was going to talk about next, because you mentioned games for kids, and I don't know how these ones are positioned these days. The next game is this Turtles roguelike game. I didn't particularly like the side-scrolling arcade thing that they brought out that was like Streets of Rage. A lot of people like that a lot, but not really for me. This one looks more fun, except that it's a roguelike, and roguelikes suck ass in general. But who do you think this is aimed at? If Pirates of the Caribbean is a decent game for children, who do you aim a Turtles game at? Do children like it, or do 45-year-old people like it? Man people, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but like, do the older generation gravitate to this more so than the children? And I don't overly. But I see lots of people like, oh, damn, it's Turtles. I love Turtles. And they're like 50-year-olds. So I don't know, difficulty-wise, and maybe difficulties are irrelevant. Maybe children are just better at games anyway. Because I don't know, can you have like complex mechanics and progression? Can you tell? Do you have that issue with storytelling where it's impossible to tell a unique one, but it doesn't matter because kids are seeing these things for the first time anyway? So by all means, just be as generic bullshit as you want. I don't know. You had a blast playing Shredder's Revenge. That's probably the one I'm thinking of. Wouldn't play it yourself. It was great seeing how much they loved it. And Grounded as well. Wait, let's get rid of this. You say 30-year-olds who got the second wave of TMNT. Is there a current, like, is it still relevant to the children's today? All these other games is just nostalgia for people 35 plus. But they still try and keep Turtles relevant though, don't they? Like, there is still a kid group audience or a Turtles show targeted at children, or is there not? I'm not a children, so I don't keep track of such things. My own kids don't really watch TV too much. They're a bit older now, so. You think the only games that kids care about are Fortnite and Roblox? Patrick, Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. My older lad plays an awful lot of Terraria. But yeah, whole generation that aren't interested in trying other games particularly. So I did manage to get both of mine onto Final Fantasy XIV, so that was novel. There's hope for them yet. You think that there is a TMNT show for kids on Netflix, and that makes it more difficult to target the game, I would think. then whoever it is it Nickelodeon? I don't know. Whoever owns the Turtles IP might be swaying it towards that generation rather than the old people. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not massively interested in the Turtles game, but it is a 4-player co-op roguelike that I could be swayed towards if other people are excited by it. Next one that I'm going to look at looked really good. It was called Europa, and it probably wasn't running on the Switch, but it looked like very painterly. It's all watercolored, and if the Nintendo is like if the Switch is capable of this kind of style, then you could make a nice looking Zelda game. So why didn't they? Maybe they did. Maybe you like Zelda. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I'm speaking up my ass. So Shady, there is a kids show and it's been multiple, but the IP will always be propped up by the older folk with nostalgia on top of the demographic they target. It will be. Pete, you like the idea of a PC-centric show. Pete, you're behind. This was hours ago. I would like to cover smaller games. I'd like to cover everything. It's my adversary is an issue again. But yes, Pete. Actually, when I do get onto reviews and stuff again in the very near future, I'd quite like to cover smaller ones as well. It does depend on interest. So I don't need like videos and the YouTube channel to do crazy numbers on everything. That's not my ambition at all. But I also don't want to do stuff that the community that we do have are not remotely interested in. So I will happily talk about smaller games and play them and review them. But if I'm literally the only one that cares, then I'll be making a mistake. Gives you Ni no Kuni vibes. Yeah, either of you ever played Ni no Kuni? Are you going to? You like Studio Ghibli stuff. I've got Ni no Kuni installed on the Xbox. I've had it installed on the Xbox for a long time with the intention of playing it. But it hasn't happened yet. So many games like that. Tony told you to play it. Tony mostly instructs people to play games when they've lost a dare to him, and he usually goes for like Peppa Pig or something like that. So if Tony's recommending it nicely, then there you go. I've got no idea if it's the kind of game you would actually like. I just know the Studio Ghibli side of it that you're into. You might like it more than you like Harold Halibut. No, nobody knows what you like. If you knew what you like, then maybe I would be able to figure out what you like. Tony, have you played it yourself? Did you think it's actually a good game? Or did you just recommend it because of the Ghibli? It is meant to be good, episode 13. It is meant to be good. But it is, like, broadly an RPG of some sort, I think. Possibly turn-based combat of a sort. As in, like, not turn-based like a tactics grid-based game, but a kind of light Japanese RPG combat system, maybe. Puzzles? Okay, it's a chill game. I was thinking it might be more like a Dragon Quest or something in the way that it actually played out, but maybe not. Dragon Quest is another one that I need to play. All 11 of them, but mostly the last one. Steven, you try and get your kids to watch stuff you watched as a kid. Your own dad tried to force you to watch the rubbish that he liked as a kid. Fireball 15 and Joe 90. It's just what you do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now I'm thinking, did I... My kids rejected everything that I like, really. So, yeah, I guess so. Ghibli, that's what I said. Did I see Anton Blast? I saw Anton Blast, but I didn't personally like the look of it outside of the cutscenes. I'm going to bring it up though, now that you've mentioned it. Because I wanted to like it. It did a lot that was like, oh, that's... I like this, the style of the cutscenes in particular. And then it's like a fairly fast-paced 2D platformer, which I like. And I like it, it mentions in the trailer the concept of it being like a... by pacing, I would say a Sonic kind of platformer. But with the fairly novel concept that you go through the level to a point, and then some explosion shit happens and you have to reverse your way through the level. You have to get back out of it in the opposite direction. And I like that as a 2D platform quirk. Here it is, Anton Blast. And I like the idea in that sense, but I don't like the pixel art style. It's fine for the cutscene, it's fine for the noises. Yeah. But this bit doesn't work for my eyes. It just has a kind of scruffy pixel art look, which isn't to my taste. But, you know, I don't know. That's all I can say on it, really. Am I being, like, overly picky and unfair on it? Because pixel art can look good, but that just, it looks kind of messy to me. Like that character art, that looked much tidier. Oh, so episode 13, the gameplay animations look good to you. Interesting. I thought they looked messy. But it is, as criticism goes, that's not scientific in any way. It's not subjective at all. That is just, sorry, it is subjective. It's not objective at all. Entirely my view of it. Like, I'm not a fan of that style. It's not sharp, but you'll watch it again. It's on the Nintendo channel. It's another, I think that's one of the ones that's timed exclusive. Oh, I also hear Japanese in my ear. What game? Anton Blast. I did show the trailer, didn't I? I'm sure I showed the trailer. Did I show the trailer? Or did I not press the button to show it? No, I did. I'm pretty competent and capable, and I'm certain that it worked. What else was there? So we've done Cat World. We had a little look at Europa. The last one that I want to look at from the Nintendo Indie thing. No, I want to see... Do I want to see this? I've never heard of this one. I'm going to have a quick look at Yars Rising, because I've got no idea what it is. This was in the show at a point that I wasn't watching. So, first, like, reaction YouTube video. Oh. Okay. We've got lights, nightlife, rain. It's got weather. It's got robot trash cans. It's got... Oh, it's... See, this looks a lot nicer than Anton Blast to me already. Atari? Don't say Atari, that's not a strength. Apart from for Tony, who still seems to love them. Okay, so we've got Wings of Magic, Cyberpunk City, 2D plane adventures, and... Nope, lost me. No, crawling through vents and shooting Jubilee fireworks at weird little robots. But I don't like the way she jumps. I don't like the way she crawls, and I don't like the way she stealths. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put that one on the I've forgotten what it is list for a while. But it looked reasonably competent, right? Good thumbnail material. Oh, what a face. I will never have thumbnails like that. Yeah, looks so bad. Rip Atari. Tony, you love Atari. The last one that they closed the show off with. I think I've covered everything I wanted to from that. Obviously they didn't have Hollow Knight Silk Song, which was what people were asking for, but that seems to be tied to Xbox marketing at the moment. SteamWorld Heist 2. This one looked quite nice. I've never played SteamWorld Heist though. It's Steven Southwick. Cyberpunk, if anyone hasn't played it since the version 2 patch, you highly recommend it. Everybody does. It's supposed to be brilliant now. Not just the Phantom Liberty stuff itself, but the actual base game is supposed to be really good now. It's on my list, but I'm torn between Like, there's always just on the horizon a good way to play it in VR. And there's always like the path tracing option that was good as well. But that's also just on the horizon for me because I'd like to change my capture setup to do that. I'd like to do the path traced option with a better TV and a better capture solution. Or I'd like to do the VR version when I can use my hands in it and my treadmill. So both of these things are like constantly just out of reach, but I'll get to them at some point. Maybe I should just play it in the meantime. I played quite a lot of it. Lots of hats. Looks like Modern Worms. Does this game look like Worms? I haven't been watching. Wait, let me pay attention to the actual gameplay. Is this... Oh shit. Oh shit. It's not a platformer. These are like deliberate, take your time. I'm rewinding. I wasn't watching. I've not done this one justice. So you recruit a crew. You're on a boat. You see, I see these bits and I see a platform game, but actually, sniper, engineer, flanker. They've got hats. Oh, they've got fish on their heads. They've got top hats. Wait, show me the combat. They've got musical instruments. Okay, I like it. I like it. Oh. So it stops and plays out kind of like, say, like Worms. Oh, I might really like this. Is the first SteamWorld heist like this? Being a sequel like you think it was, but I had no idea. Replicant, you're right. I played an awful lot of a Special V with no eyebrows. And a bit of a complex about it. Yeah, you're right. I should finish off that playthrough. They had sailing too, yeah. I do like some sailing apparently. No, I saw the sailing. I'd seen the sailing and the moving. But I hadn't seen how the combat plays out. Now I'm really interested in that. SteamWorld games are pretty fun, yeah. And they're all quite different though, right? SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist are not remotely similar besides a shared world, as far as I know. Does it have fishing? It better bloody not, or I'm taking back everything that I said about it. Yes, no, Stephen, so when I was playing Cyberpunk, I streamed a lot of it, and my V had no eyebrows and was very shy about her nipples. You got to roleplay a character if you're making a character in an RPG. If you get a character creator, then you got to give them a little bit of a backstory, and I was feeling fairly lazy, so pretty much my V's personality, where she was very self-conscious about her lack of eyebrows, and we sort out any path traced nipples but hers as a gameplay twist. Yeah, nipple twist, which wasn't my best work, I'll be honest, but we had fun. What else have we got? So that's a Nintendo thing. That's probably plenty. So let's move towards the questions now, unless... Well, the questions kind of lead on to any missed topics anyway. So if you think I've missed any of the topics that should be covered, stick them in the Q&A box, because what we're going to do is we're going to start bashing through those now. We are. I can't remember where I get them. Hold on. Isla, can I have the first question, please? Tea or coffee from Gamsley? Gamsley, you've already missed the answer to this one. I didn't have tea or coffee for this show. I had a banoffee hot chocolate and a ginger beer, which I haven't finished yet. Tony, you have a question. What do I think that I will do? Or what do I think that Tony will do to me if I ever cancel this show again? I'm intrigued, Tony. I can't wait to find out. Next week's show is cancelled. Next question, please. We'll see how Tony responds. Danny Passion Official. What are my thoughts on the Final Fantasy not selling well? I don't know. Like, I feel like the third game is secured through contracts that are already in place. so I don't care. I think if there was like a risk that they just didn't I hate it when you get like a trilogy or something, or a series that clearly doesn't finish concisely, like, or in any satisfactory way, and you know that it's been written and planned with something in mind, and you just don't get it finished. Like, I'm upset that there's no Halo 6. Not because like Halo Infinite being good, bad, or indifferent, but because they started to tell a story and then dropped it before finishing it off. I hate that scenario. But Final Fantasy, I think it's already got marketing deals and all the rest of it in place for the third part, so it has to happen anyway. So I'm not too bothered about the sales. Fading into insignificance, like, it's never been as big as people kind of thought numerically anyway, because Final Fantasy 7, like classic that it is, that everyone seems to know and love, and Final Fantasy 8 were already not pushing satisfactory numbers, so much so that Square Enix pivoted the franchise away from its like Japanese roots and tried to pursue Western audiences with Final Fantasy 13 and 15 and all of that stuff. So Replicant, that's true. Final Fantasy 14 is massive. 16, I think 16 only trended a little bit above 7 Rebirth, if it was above it. I don't think Final Fantasy is any big trouble or anything. And then, like, the question that always goes with it is, have they doomed themselves? Like, is it their own fault for taking the marketing deal and keeping it exclusive to PlayStation? And it's very, very easy to say, like, would it have sold more if it was on more platforms? Yeah, of course it would. That's so basic and so dumb that it doesn't need saying out loud. And yeah, some people feel the need to. Of course it would have sold more. Would it have sold more? I mean, the PC version seems like a no-brainer. If it's only delayed by 3 months on the PC, how much is that going to hurt the PC sales? Is it going to be so detrimental that the marketing money doesn't cover it? When I say marketing money, I'm covering development support marketing as well as the actual bag of cash or whatever. So is the PC version hit so much that the marketing deal was a bad idea? Possibly. I don't know the answer. It's not very obvious and plain to guess, because I think the game will still sell well when it comes out on PC. I think the PC version, I might buy the PC version, and I've already got it on the PlayStation, so that side of it is like, maybe it works out for them, maybe it didn't. And then you got the Xbox version, like, the game doesn't sell on Xbox, so that's not much of a conversation in terms of whether it was a mistake or not to do exclusivity. But I'm not Sony and I'm not Square Enix, so for me, I would have liked to have seen the game release absolutely everywhere. Of course I would. I'd like to play the best version of it that I can get my hands on, and I don't gain anything from other people not being able to play. If they're saying, like, Square Enix came out and said that they were only able to deliver the game because they had such a small number of platforms to focus on, there might be some merit to that, there might be some validity, but I don't know. They would have been all right releasing it everywhere, I would think. You think Square might be more reluctant to jump on exclusive deals going forwards? I mean, the new CEO person, if you can still call him new, it's like 6 months now or whatever, already said that he was less keen on those, preferred to be more open and things. But at the same time, the value of Sony's exclusivity deals isn't the bag of cash, it's the marketing. So for Square Enix, like, they got, for the sake of putting Legend of Mana or whatever it is, Mana on Xbox, they managed to get that game put in the Xbox Developer Direct where it had no place whatsoever. Marketing counts for a lot, for smaller games in particular, so it shouldn't be difficult for them to market a Final Fantasy. But if they want to make a Mana game or a Deerfield Chronicles, which they're probably not going to go back onto, but if they want to make a smaller game, then suddenly that marketing is very valuable to them, and then the deals might, I can see them still doing exclusivity deals sometimes, particularly I think because of the way that their games perform. particularly like their Japanese-centric games perform on Xbox, I think it's quite easy for them to take exclusivity deals in terms of the console space. And they'll just be far more reluctant to sign away anything that keeps them off of PC, where their numbers are better. Final Fantasy 15 had great fishing, the best Final Fantasy game by far. Stephen Southwick, you're trolling me badly. You and Tony, I don't think either of you like Final Fantasy 15. Nobody likes fishing. Final Fantasy 14. Chronic, you've not played Final Fantasy 14, have you? Are you on it? You're not on it with us. You can fish while we all catch up to whatever level you are. Final Fantasy 16 didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. You could say Final Fantasy 13 didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy 12 didn't feel like it. They're allowed to pivot and do what they want with it in that sense, but... Final Fantasy was... And it wasn't your first Final Fantasy game, Stephen, because Tony likes Final Fantasy 15 the most, but it was the first one that he played, so I kind of... Like, that makes you question, is Final Fantasy 7 my favourite only because it's the first one that I played? Does everyone just like the first one they played the most? But I don't think that's the case for you. I think you've played many. Anyway, my thoughts on Final Fantasy not selling so well. Don't know, really. Like, I want 7 Rebirth, the third part of it. I don't actually care if there's never a Final Fantasy 17. I don't care if they drop the series entirely or focus on remakes or whatever. And obviously Final Fantasy 14. Highly your P now, so you're saying I need to try and get the most out of this question. FTW, have you played Balatro? Can't remember if you said you have or not. Replicant gifted me Balatro. So I have played Balatro. Not enough though to justify the gift. So I feel bad about that. I didn't like Balatro as much as most people, but I played it on my 42-inch TV screen. And it is not a game to play like that. It is a game to play on a portable device, I think, would make the difference. Obviously I'm phenomenally good at everything that I play, so I didn't die on Balatro, but it didn't hook me either. So I played through like 2 or 3 of its bosses, and then it might still, I can't remember. I just turned off at that point because it wasn't catching me. It didn't have like character. It's quite an interesting concept, the way that you use your like poker hands or whatever with its odd little extra cards to manipulate it, but it hijacks your mornings most days. What happens on that game when you die? By die I mean lose. Does it, like, the bosses that I came across were just, they had a name and a particular quirky card thing that they'd use to nullify something you were doing, or just make it a bit awkward like that. But I don't know, it's the kind of game that seems like it would be nice for journeys when you needed to have your like spatial awareness and stuff, because you might get like stabbed on a train or something, so you can play a game but you're like aware you're not going to get stabbed. You're playing a game and it's like, it's enticing enough to be interesting in the times that you look at it, but you don't want to be focused on it because it doesn't look very nice. So you want to be like, oh, I'll take a little turn and then I'll make sure no one's coming to stab me, and then I'll take a little turn. I can see it working as a game like that, but no one stabs me in my own house, so I didn't really get along with it. Square needs to bring back Vagrant Story. Yeah, I would like to see them bring back Vagrant Story. Patrick, you've not taken a vacation since 2021. That's like, I hope you get one soon. You deserve it. Patrick works hard. We can tell Patrick works hard because I never cross paths with him on the games. You just restart a new hand, a new run. Well, yeah, I did play Balatro. Isla, when you are available, can you bring up the next? So who else? I don't know what my question is actually around Balatro. I keep shouting things. What other games are really good for when you might get stabbed? Danny Passion Official, did I finish Baldur's Gate 3? We did finish Baldur's Gate 3. We did. It took 130 odd hours. And we did like straight line through towards the end. It got very much to a point where it had kind of outstayed its welcome. We wanted to get to the end of it rather than explore everything that we could in the last kind of act. But very good game. Very good game. Make a underscore silly face. I don't make silly faces. Thank you for the suggestion. It was some great viewing. You love Baldur's Gate 3. I had fun with Baldur's Gate 3, and I don't want to give any like kind of spoilers and stuff towards what kind of choices I made and how I played those end bits of it. But it is a brilliant game, and I can't imagine I'm going to go back to it anytime soon, unless I would go back to it to record some footage for a video or a review or something like that. Something I've been weighing up actually. Like, do I put out a review for Baldur's Gate 3? And I'm not sure I can because I've only played it once. And it's a game where the choice and consequence structure of it is clearly so like central to the game and to the like review process. It's such an important component of it that I feel like I need to play it 4 more times. So, you know, another 520 hours or something of Baldur's Gate 3 before I can feel comfortable and confident doing a review. So I'm going to go do that because Isla's yelling about it. I will see you in a couple of years. Danny Passion Official, did you play and finish Baldur's Gate 3? Are you a fan? There's reviews out there from people who haven't even beaten it once. I know, Patrick, but I hold myself to a certain standard. A very high, unrealistic kind of standard. But there are things that I can do. I might put something up for that. I also have, so in terms of videos, reviews are still definitely very much on the agenda. And actually, I was talking to Chris today about, so Chris Grinnell that does the Tuesday show mentioned that he wanted to review Manor Lords. So I was talking to him about the potential for like expanding how we do reviews on the channel, but very much I'm very controlling. I'm a bit of an arsehole. So I was like, no, if there are going to be reviews coming, I will be imposing my way of doing those reviews. Because I like the format that I've got going, but along those lines, I've also got other kinds of videos. So when there are games that I don't feel like I can review because either I haven't finished it or because like it's a service game or something like that, where it's not a finite contained experience and a review doesn't necessarily make sense, then there will still be like impressions-y, taste testy videos of them. I never let you kill that guy. Who are you supposed to kill? My decision making was pretty unique in Baldur's Gate 3. Make for a fabulous review, but I couldn't talk about that. I never let you kill that guy. You have to tell me offline who that is, Isla. I can't remember, but anyway, wait. Replicant. You can will one announced game with no date to release this year. What game? So Steven's obviously read that question because he said Jurassic Park or Fable. Replicant, I would have to decline. Don't want any more games to come out. Don't want any more games to come out. Don't want Clockwork Revolution to come out yet. Don't want a Cyberpunk sequel at the moment. I want Star Citizen to come out because I can say Star Citizen and then I have to actually, like, by this process of wishing, they'll have to finish that game, right? So it'll be a completed Star Citizen. You're now motivated to do a revenge replay for Jack. I don't understand. But okay, good. So, Like the only things that are lacking for me on games are in the VR space. I've got enough pancake games to play, and there are enough pancake games coming out. So if I'm looking at what's coming out this year and what gaps there are to fill, I'd have to find a VR game. It might actually come out this year, but I'm going to have to say Behemoth. Star Citizen for the sake of getting it completed, because it's a never-ending project. Jack likes Star Citizen, so you're going to go on a revenge mission for him. I don't understand. You're motivated to do a revenge replay for that. Are these separate thoughts? Okay. Okay, good. Good, okay, I was very confused. But yeah, what's Behemoth? Behemoth is... we'll bring up the trailer for it. It's one of the most promising games because we don't know very much about it at all. Behemoth VR. It's only had a cinematic reveal trailer. Oh wait, shit, was that a new one that I haven't seen? Skydance Intro? No. So it's from Skydance, who did some of the better VR games. They did the Walking Dead good ones. Did they? Or were they the Arizona Sunshine ones? No, that's Vertigo. From Skydance, and it's got big, like, colossal creatures to you fight. It's like presented as being kind of Shadow of the Colossus style game, but in VR. But all we have is a CGI trailer and a decent studio behind it and a lot of time being put into it. So it doesn't have a release date, but VR release dates are relatively sparse. I really want Gran Turismo 7 to hit the PC and PC VR. Don't know that that's the plan at all, that it will hit PC VR at all. But if it does, I would definitely get that. Because I love Gran Turismo 7 in VR on the PlayStation, but it could use... You know, it could use that little bit of extra oomph to really crisp it up. So I would like that. Deus Ex VR would make you get VR. Okay. There's not one of those in the works though. And I don't think there are any good mods for that either. Don't know what engine Deus Ex was in, but... There are a few VR games in the works. There is that like Metro game coming, and there's some things that I want along the way, but not nearly enough. So that's where I'm going to fill in the gaps. And that was Behemoth. Let's do Silk Song. No, nobody wants Silk Song. That's already supposed to come out this year. Metro games should be good. I'm not sure. I reckon it'll be quite small in scope. No, don't be angry that Silk Song is coming out this year. Lots of people ask for the date at every opportunity whenever there's an indie-focused showcase, but... It should be atmospheric. Yeah, it should be. I had a very good-looking trailer for what it was. I need to play some more VR, it's been ages. Sorry, Tony. Tony keeps asking too. Right. You have Hollow Knight bed. Good. Good. Let's have the next question, please. People can still... Is Silk Song going into Game Pass? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and I might not play it. But it is going into Game Pass. I just didn't get along with the first one, so... And I don't feel like massively inclined to try it again. But... VR is dead. It's not Tony. We're going to do it. We're going to play it. VR is definitely struggling in terms of new games, but then you got a PC. You can Unreal Engine everything. Episode 13 is off to bed. What games am I looking forward to the most this year? Indies or hidden gems? Well, Hades 2 if it gets its actual release this year. Not looking forward to the early access. Same goes for No Rest for the Wicked, really. Like if it gets its official release, I'm very much looking forward to it. Avowed, assuming it comes this year. Tony will be very quick to jump up and down and shout that it doesn't have a date yet, but it does say 2024. So those are the two that I'm most looking forward to this year. Hades 2 and Avowed are the remaining two that I'm most looking forward to. And there'll probably be some things that I've overlooked or forgotten about, but those are top of my list. What about everyone else? List for this year. I also... Trying to remember, there were like 2 VR games that I saw recently that I realised I've been neglecting. I want to play more VR. Helldivers is already out. You can't have Helldivers. Replicant, Chris and Darge keep saying they're going to gift me Hades 2 early access, and I'm not going to play it. They can't. It would be a waste. You're looking forward to a Minecraft update. What's in the Minecraft update, Isla? Predictive text grid. You want Hellblade? Oh, you're looking forward to Hellblade. So I reckon I'm gonna massively respect Hellblade like I did the first one, but I'm also not. It's weird. I have weird feelings towards it. I'm not particularly looking forward to it. I'm definitely gonna play it. Probably gonna really like it, but I'm also not hyped about it, and I don't really can't put my finger on why. I think it might just be because the first one was like challenging. Because I found it a difficult play. That hangs over it. Like, it's going to be a difficult play, so I can wait. But that's not to like diminish what that game is. It does look incredible. It just keep it separately. Am I playing Cyberpunk 2077? Jizz, I'm not at the moment. I took this background at some point last year. I will get back to it because I haven't finished it. But this was this is Cyberpunk, all path traced and fancy in the background. And I will get back to it because it was going well. I was having fun with it. Copper stuff and new dogs. New dogs. Are there old dogs? I don't know. Does it have dogs? It must have dogs. Now it's going to have copper dogs. Okay, copper dogs in Minecraft. The wolf. New skins for a wolf. What, they're turning wolves into dogs? Oh no, not actual dogs. You're just choosing. Right, okay, you're confusing me. I understand. I want to see more people's answers. Yeah, so Chris and Dodge keep saying they're going to get me Hades 2. I really don't like early access. I get it for games like survival games where they call it early access, but really they just mean it's too buggy and we can't fix it. I get those. I get playing them. But games that are going to have a complete polished actual release, I don't want to play ahead of that polished release. And Hades is that, so yes, Patrick, me too. Everyone knows by now, not everyone because that would be weird, but it's not a secret that I really like Hades an awful lot. But Hades 2, I don't want to play an incomplete version. And No Rest for the Wicked is the same. I really want to play it, but not till they're finished. Because I don't play most games more than once. And like, I know the concept of a roguelike you go back through, but it's still, if it's anything like the first Hades, it still is a playthrough with a story. I don't play things more than once, so I don't want the one playthrough to be anything less than its best, really. Chris put a cool looking game to Discord that was also early access, so that's an example of a different one. I haven't actually followed his link, but it said it was like an extraction shooter set in Vietnam or something. But that, from what I smelt of the description, just like the little header that shared across to Discord, I didn't click the link yet, but from what I smelt of it, that looked like the kind of game that probably doesn't get a version 1. Like the early access release is the game and it's just expected to be buggy. So it's the kind of thing where I could jump into it on early access because it's not the same. It doesn't get a polished release unless it accidentally gets too successful and they have to keep on making it. You get what I mean, like survival games like Power World, is it ever going to get version 1? It's had 30 million people play it. So you'd hope so, but I'm not confident. That was a weird little hiccup. Anyway, while you're still answering those, games that you're really looking forward to, Armadillo is coming to Minecraft, I'm assuming. Let's have the next question as well. Tom, what would have to happen to make you sure we were in a simulation? I don't know, I guess the rules would have to change in a way that I could perceive. Something that I understand to be true, like that I know to be true, would have to no longer be true in an completely inexplicable way. Otherwise, I don't know, that's my answer. change of the rules of the simulation that I can perceive. How would the rules change if you've always been there? How would the rules change if you've always been there? I don't know. Rules can change in a simulation. I don't know what rule would change. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. That's my answer. We feel pain physically, so we definitely aren't in a simulation. Don't know about that. No. No, that's dreams you're thinking of. Yeah. Pain you can feel, you can completely imagine pain and make it real. So, I don't know, minds are weird with how they process that kind of thing. Right. Replicant, World of Warcraft War Within beta soon. Time to pop that level 70 token. I'm not going to touch the beta, so that's not a time frame I'm concerned about, but I would really like to be prepped ready for War Within when it actually comes out. So I've got work to do. I've got I want to see the current expansion and one prior. So I need to get on with my Final Fantasy and I need to get my World of Warcraft going, and it's such a shame that I don't like strangers. I need 5 people to play World of Warcraft with so that I can actually get through it. So really, like, I've not seen any real toxicity in Final Fantasy 14. I've not seen nasty people in general, but my experience of World of Warcraft has never been that. It's always been either complete silence or complete arseholes. Only the arseholes talk and everybody else has kind of given up the stage to them now. So I need 4 other people to play World of Warcraft with me, and then I'll get through it. Comma City, open your eyes, dead on arrival under smoky skies. Apparently. Final Fantasy community is much nicer now than World of Warcraft, especially in dungeons. Yeah, that's good to know. I've not gone near the dungeons because I just assumed that that's where I'd unearth the toxicity if I did. But maybe I will. It's encouraging that you've said that. Can't stand the World of Warcraft community like that. And it's unfair to say because realistically chances are like 96% of the World of Warcraft community are probably decent. But the 4% of them come across like Twitter users and just smother out all of the good. So minds are weird indeed and impossible to simulate the billions of different minds, surely. Well, you don't know. You might be the only real one, Stephen. Everyone else might just be a construct for your benefit. Simulation theory is weird. If the pain you currently have in your arm is simulated, it still hurts, so it really makes no difference. Well, that's true. Like, if it is all a simulation, it doesn't make any profound difference to what you do and don't do next. But Jizzy, you need to adjust your colors to a bit green so that I fit that scene. Sometimes, do you know what, Jizzy? Sometimes I go to real extra lengths to change things around. So I've had ones where I'll have like some stuff that I've inserted into the background, some videos and things, and I bother to make it shine into the environment just in rudimentary little ways, and it's never worth it because I'm the only one that will see that like the TV that I've set up is actually lighting up the room in some way. You're right, I could have made myself a bit green. I'm not going to. I still could, but I'm not going to. But thank you for noticing how pale I am. Play Minecraft with me. Who said that? That was Isla. Okay, we'll do that. Minecraft coming up at some point. Again, my adversary time. You know, I had to check the name. It said the name had minimized, so it said play Minecraft with me, and I had to. You never know. There's a lot of people demand that I play Minecraft with them, so I didn't know who it was going to be on this occasion. Are amoral things more moral once you know it's a simulation? Well, Tom. Well, Tom. That's a very good point. A very good question. That is a very good question. Then you'd kind of have to establish from that point forward whether it was like your simulation, whether you were the only real within it, or whether it's like a multiplayer simulation. And that would be like absolutely critical to know on the morality kind of thing. I'm going to think on that for a while. But not right now, not live. I'll think about it like while I sleep. But let's do the next question, please. And also, who else wants to play Minecraft? So I know how many slots are required. Ask questions, I'll read them. We've got to the end. I said this would be a short show. I was wrong. It was a normal kind of length. So hopefully that's not ruined anyone's sleep cycle too badly. But we have got to the end. Tomorrow has the Xbox Series podcast. Gamsley is no longer sure if he can make that or not, so I might have, just to make things really tricky, he's not sure, so I don't know if I need to try and like arrange anything or not, arrange a substitute or not. So it's going to be very last minute on that one. But the Xbox Series podcast will be going ahead in one way or another tomorrow at 8 in the UK. I will also be streaming Harold Halibut before then for a good like 3 hours or so. You played an Xbox game once. You don't want to do the Xbox podcast. You want to do the other ones. Anyway, I will figure that stuff out. For now, that is the end. So, you did play that one game that's relevant. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you everyone for coming through, talking to me, making the conversation work. There will be more things. I told a lie when I said that Q&Asa was cancelled for next week. It's not cancelled. It'll go on next week. I just wanted to see what Tony would do. I think we can all agree it was very underwhelming. This is what happens when you call Tony's bluff. But we still appreciate him nonetheless. And yeah, I'll be on the Discord all the time. So I will see you then. Blah.
Asa. Game on Daily.